It's Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, KJ's What Happened YouTube channel. People are freaking out about the new dystopia, the new world dystopia. And as I do on these Friday night shows, I've curated the show. I've collected an assortment of videos to put across this point that people are freaking out about the new dystopia. Thank you for being here, always. Good to see everybody. Hello, Tamara. Good to see you. Thank you, of course, for all you do. My moderator, my only moderator for a very, very long time. Thank you so much. And good to see all of you, man. Great to see everyone coming in. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Hope we had a great week. And I hope you're ready to hang out for a fun show, an interesting show. And like I said, I have an assortment of videos to share with you tonight. And, oh, by the way, I just dropped a brand new video today, just a few hours ago. So please do check it out. Sirens. The sirens. Anyway, that got me going, so I made a video on that one. So please do check it out. And thank you very much for doing so. Share, all that stuff. Like, subscribe, you know what they say, you know the routine. But yeah, like I said, I've got some good videos for you tonight. It's been a crazy week, been a busy week over here for me. We're in August now, isn't that nice? We're a week into August, so we're out of July. All of us at this point, I imagine, are looking forward to that, quote, heat dome disappearing. But for the next 5 days, it's going to be over 100 degrees where I'm at, so real cool, no? Can't wait for this weather to calm and cool. Please come quickly, fall. But anyway, I don't want to sit here and talk about the weather with you all night. I just wanted to chat for a few minutes as we're kind of settling in. Good to see you, Little Bear, Tom, MB, Soul Reactivator, Trisha, Chinese Chicken, my favorite kind, Michael A. Wilson, what's up? Mystical Ninja, cool name. Hippie Chick, cool name. Discerna, Zola. Good to see everybody. Thank you so much, you guys. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and get started. We give it a few minutes. People are starting to come in. People are freaking out about the new world dystopia. So if we're going to discuss the subject tonight, then certainly we need to understand what the definition is of dystopia. Here's a word that running around the circles we do online, especially for so many years, I know you've heard this term over and over again, oftentimes related to movies, dystopian movies, like future horror dystopia type films. And there's so many of those. But dystopia, what does it mean? Maybe you didn't know. It's pretty simple. An imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized, fearful lives. There you go. It's a good, straight, basic. Here's some uses. Over the course of the movie, the late 60s ideal of togetherness turns into a dystopia of violence, revulsion, and finally death, indeed. So dystopia, yes, and we're seeing this world turn into one more and more. It's on a fast track as we really are at the doorstep of tribulation. Babylon going boom soon. Please make sure, if you haven't yet, to secure your soul for eternity by accepting that free gift of salvation from Jesus. Accept that salvation, be redeemed. And through the Father, or through the Son, we get to the Father. So, got to be Jesus, man. He's numero uno, number one. It's not religion. It's a relationship with the Creator of all things, including you. So it's much bigger than just a religious thing, okay? It's a real relationship. So I hope you'll choose, and choose wisely, my friends, because it's speeding up. Dystopia, there we have it. An imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized, fearful lives. So tonight, I'll show you some examples of that. We'll actually start on the other end.
Mom says I have to eat my vegetables.
Oh, come on, pause. TikTok.
I'm like, oh.
Goodness. All right, we'll save that for later. But you saw the fancy thumbnail I had on there, and I think a good example of dystopia, the growing dystopian world, comes to us through the fashion world. I've shown you some of the sickness that comes out of the fashion world over the years. But the Met Gala is a great example. It really is like a Hunger Games type thing to me, in so many ways. Because even in Hunger Games, remember, the so-called elite, the men were very feminized. It was, there was definitely a rainbow vibe, like over everything and all the people, the way the men dressed and the way they acted and everything else. Like an effeminization happening. And certainly we see that on steroids at the Met Gala. Usually the guys are in dresses or skirts and, the whole thing. But all this happening, these people have all the money they could ever want. They go out here and they put on the, quote, fashion, really expensive clothes, usually with a lot of demented subliminal and hidden messages within the clothing, and sometimes just straight up demonic and evil. While there's, of course, so many people suffering in the world, right? Especially now, prices going up. More and more people are suffering. People are having trouble keeping a house or an apartment. As you know, the prices are going up. Everything's going crazy. But most of it's because these small evil or these huge evil corporations, they go out and they buy everything. Whether it has to do with the housing or food production or whatever it is, man. It's like it all falls into the hands of a few. And these people don't care about us. You probably know that by now. That being said, let's go ahead and check this one out right here about the Met Gala 2026. Did you go? Were you invited? I wouldn't go anyway.
Six is delightfully satanic, which would make sense when you have a group of billionaires. The Met Gala 2026 is delightfully satanic, which would make sense when you have a group of billionaires come together. This is Jordan Roth, who looks like he's got a literal demon coming out of his back. Now, apparently this was inspired by sculptures coming to life, but this just looks like a full-blown possession to me. And look, when he turns around, it looks like there's a growth or something. What is this? And apparently he was inspired by this, which somehow looks even more satanic than the look that he's wearing. We got Sam Smith, who looks like Cruella DeVille and Maleficent had a baby with Satan, which is pretty on brand for him. And we got this one that looks like she's either covered by blood or she's being stabbed and have blood coming out of her. Allegedly, these are feathers, but I'm not buying that. And we've got this one that took off her face to put back on her face so she can have a mask of her face, which to billionaires makes perfect sense. And these are the people that run the world and tell us that they are better than us. This reminds me, billionaires are creepy. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. I think you're spot on. They are creepy. Seem to be, right?
Modern architect.
I've got a story I've written, and I don't know if I'll ever even be able to produce anything from this. I tried making an AI short film a long time ago. I told you guys about that. But I've got a story. It's in a series called Tribulation Tales, and it's just different vignettes, different people's situations during the tribulation. And I have one called The Billionaire, Battle of the Billionaires, and it's epic. I mean, they're all in there. They've got all the robots and drones and DARPA dogs and even more, like robot suits. I got Zuckerberg. I got Bill Gates. Got Jeff Bezos in there. Someday maybe we'll be able to see it. If not, when we get to heaven, I'll have like a campfire hangout for all of us, and we'll just all spend time telling stories. How's that sound?
Picture is ass. Do you know how I know this? When you look at a building that was made 5 years ago, that was made 10 years
We start him over too. Sorry.
ago, do you know how I know this? When you look at a building, picture is ass.
Architecture.
Do you know how I know this? When you look at a building that was made 5 years ago, that was made 10 years ago, that was made 15 years ago, you say, people made that. If you walk into a classical building, like, for example, Grand Central Station, you walk into Grand Central Station, the main terminal, you look up and you go, people made this? That's the difference. That's the difference. There is no awe anymore. It's just like, oh, glass panel, oh, steel beam, oh. No, dude. No, dude. You don't get it.
But I do. I know what he's talking about. It's a lot of it's modernity, and a really good example. It's an easy one in case y'all never seen it. Ooh, shoot! Come on, TikTok. You are such all right. I just don't like the way TikTok functions, and also it's the most hardcore with censorship I've ever seen. It's the worst out of all of them I use. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. I'm trying to see here. So here's some examples of how, excuse me, how McDonald's has changed. like here. They don't look like this.
Are you reeling in the yeast?
But that's a good example right there of modernity and how everything's changed. And it does feel more dystopian. It's like if things are losing their color. Even films, there's a whole thing you can look into. There's a rabbit hole on this where people are starting to notice that all the movies coming out of Hollywood over the last few years, they all have like the same Netflix type look as far as lighting goes. Nothing's bright, nothing pops anymore, nothing grabs the eye. It's all drab, gray. It's all kind of the same. But there you go. Yeah, there's the new one, and that's the McDonald's you're familiar with today. Is this right here? So it went that, right? Like life, colors, excitement. Even though there's trickery in their colors too. This is why I've done videos on this in the past. And you can look it up, why most fast food restaurants have the colors red and yellow in there. And you can go look it up. Look it up on a search. Fast food restaurant, red, yellow sign or whatever. And you're going to see it all over the place. And it's I don't want to say everywhere, but it's in a lot of them. And that's why, I believe it's why, because when you take the colors red and yellow, your brain just kind of does it. But you combine the red and yellow, it comes up with orange. And orange is a color that creates like a wanting, a thirst, a hunger, a quench. You need to quench this, like that kind of a feeling. I can't remember the exact wording. I did this video years ago. But yeah, it's fact, though. You can look that up in red and yellow. And the orange, and what that does to your head, your brain. Here's another one. This guy says, why fun buildings matter.
The time, they just leave us feeling we're increasingly surrounded by characterless buildings. And for most of us, for the vast majority of the time, they just leave us feeling indifferent. I believe we're living through an epidemic of boringness. My own studio has been trying to address this too. In Cape Town, there was a huge disused grain silo. We took one of the original grains of corn that had been stored in the original building, and we cut it out of the heart of that building, and around that put 80 galleries. By cutting through the original historic extraordinary structure, we could expose and share the building's idiosyncrasies. In Singapore, we made a corridor-less university building where you learn in cornerless classrooms, where those professors and teachers work with you, where people can be inspired by learning, but encouraged to linger. In Yorkshire, we had the chance to humanise a treatment building at one of the UK's largest cancer hospitals. We slotted together giant plywood to make 3 structures and make a garden building. Our goal was to really make somewhere where people could come together, where you could feel vulnerable and feel protected, to really try to make an architecture of hope. Just like in nature, we've learned the vast importance of biodiversity. We now desperately need architectural diversity.
That's a great way of putting it too, man. What's happening with modernity, right?
How come in ancient times buildings were never square?
Turn this up a little.
How come in ancient times buildings were never square, but how come nowadays, in the modern era, all buildings are square? Square doors, square windows, square buildings. When you're at home, you turn on your square TV, or you look at your square devices, or get food out of your square fridge. When you go outside, all you see is square buildings. So what is it with all of these square buildings? If you look back at ancient structures, they never used to use square buildings. Or if you look in nature, you will never see a square natural formation. Look at the pyramids, for example, and look at all the Tartarian structures. No squares. Did you know what you see shapes your perception of reality? What you take in visually is quite literally shaping the world around you and moulding your mind. In geometry, the square is the most limited and simple shape. Maybe this is done on purpose to keep us in a low vibrational state. Also, the cube. The ancients always had pointed roofs in their structures because they understood that energy can therefore escape, whereas they can't in square structures. Cubed rooms trap energy. Energy cannot escape a cubed room. All of our arguments and negative energy remain trapped within our rooms, and this is done by design. There are no coincidences. Squares destroy frequency. However, arches are cymatically enhancing. Follow me if you learn something new. How come in ancient times buildings...
I like that. Well done, sir. That's right. There's energy in the way that these buildings are built.
And I framed in the back of the truck and then put these...
Check this out. There's a whole slew of videos you can find online and social media of people living in unconventional housing because of the prices now. And this has been a really popular one here. Truck tour of a solo woman living cheap in a U-Haul box truck. I know it sounds wild, but dude, just check some of these out.
Little logs on here. It's all well insulated. I had to buy the door because I had to have it special made, and a friend of mine says custom made is custom money. And my brother made the steps, fabricated the steps for me, and then that friend that said custom made, custom money made this nice expensive screen door for me. My nephew made the box, and I got this generator. Somebody was going to throw it in the dump. My brother redid the carburetor on it for me. And I've only had that cover on there for a year in New Mexico, so you can see how the weather disasterizes everything.
Yes, it does. The sun is brutal.
Oh, it is. It's really bad. Really, really, really bad. But a friend of mine, Paul, put the new tail lights on there, and this way when I have the trailer on you can see, and I can utilize my whole bumper.
Right. Well, it's a great home though, and for $1,500, wow!
I probably put
The
about
volume go up right there.
about $1,200 into it, including all the work I had done on the engine that I didn't have to do,
Right.
but which is really nothing for, and
It's nothing.
and it's better than a motorhome as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't have the maintenance factor and the,
Right.
you know, I really haven't had that much trouble with it. You know, it's been a great little house.
Yeah. And sure, you own it outright.
That's right.
You can go take it anywhere you want.
That's right.
There you go. Their audio is a little jacked. You know that it's always something we have to deal with doing these shows because there's different audio sources for every video. And some are super low, some are super high. Some are like this one. It fluctuates from out of nowhere. Excuse me, that dude's voice just started booming. But this is a fact for a lot of people. She's not the only one. There's a whole, like I said, you can go online, look it up. TikTok's a big one. A lot of people are posting from their interesting dwellings. I think I have a few more of these. Yeah. Living in storage units also is a big one.
I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise. I can use the bathroom. I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to and go to sleep.
Look at that.
So this is our living space.
It looks like a living room.
Very, very grateful to have this space. The next goal is to get an RV. The next goal after that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front. Or we'll just prepare something cold inside of the unit. Sandwiches, a lot of times we make salad. If we want to get power, we use our power bank.
Smart.
They also have power here so we can charge our power bank.
Nice.
Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here, now we can save up more money to get what we really want. We're in it for the long haul. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching.
Man, seems like a great guy. It is a shame that so many people are having to live this way these days. Again, though, guys, it's just a sign of the times, and realize there's no long-term future in this world, that heaven's our home. That's where we're heading soon. So cling to Christ in these days, man. You know what I mean? Cling to Christ. A lot of people have it super tough out there right now, unfortunately. And he's not the only one. Like I said, there's a whole lot of videos. If you like those, you can go find them. People living inside these storage units.
I live in this car to travel the world, and for some reason that brings up a lot of questions for some people. So I'm going to be answering the most common ones right now. The most common question I get asked is, how do I sleep? So here's my bed. She's nice and cozy, a mattress topper from college, and then stacked on top of each other to level her out I've got 3 pillows because my car seat doesn't lay flat. It lays like this, so I had to match the pillows. Come here, I'll show you. Oh, nice and flat. Next is, how do I cover up the windows? These little things are from Amazon. They're like $20. I also have really, really good tint. It's really dusty, but when you try and look, that's all you see. How do I afford this? Way cheaper than rent. I was paying like $850 for rent back at home. Here, I can camp on BLM land. It's completely free. Typically only go out for 2 weeks to 2 months because I like van life, but I also like a routine. I tend to want to go home after a little bit. But as far as travel goes, this is the best way to do it. It's super cheap, super easy. Just use what you have. If you have any more questions, drop them in.
And I just wanted to use that as one example, but there are so many people that are really living in their cars, and a lot of them are young, like her, like younger generations.
Here's day 4 of me living in my Honda Civic, so come spend the morning with me. Okay, rise and shine, guys. Kind of woke up at like 6 a.m. I had to go pee. I'm gonna try to chug this water and just kind of finish it, get my liquids in. But I did not have an ideal sleep because this fucking rain outside. I can't sleep with rain sounds. I can't do it. Anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna finish this water and then I'll start going into the day. But till then, I'm gonna be right here doing nothing. And a car parked right behind me and just had his headlights on. Can't see me. You can't get the show. There's people parked behind me. Did they leave? No! No, they didn't! I'm just gonna stay here. Okay, well, they're not gone, but I just have no shame anymore. So I'm gonna just put on this t-shirt and stuff and just get something on. And then I'm gonna go to the front and I'm gonna drive to my other spot so I can peacefully get ready. I'll see you guys when I move to my front room. We made it to the front. I'm absolutely cranking the heat because it is freezing cold and it's raining. You guys are gonna be like, why are you in a t-shirt? My hoodies are in my suitcase and I don't want to walk outside to pull out my suitcase and open that. So I'm just gonna blast the heat. My plan is I'm gonna go get a coffee, blast some music on the way there, and then I'll like set up and then just quickly rip through my makeup. But time to blast music. There was no music being played, but Tim's was literally 2 minutes away. So I just drove in utter silence. But yeah, I'm at Tim's. I chose Tim's. It's really cheap. I really don't want to get an ice cap, but I am. Oh my gosh. This truck is like pissing me off. Idiot.
Are you gonna get for you?
Hi. Can I please get a medium ice cap?
Medium ice cap, that's gonna be everything for you?
Yes, please. Thank you. I do not want to hear it about my receptionist voice. Don't want to hear it. I'm so excited for my ice cap. You don't even understand. Don't even think about it. You're not going. No! You're not going!
All right, we're going to move on. It's just her chilling in her car, but I just want to make a point. Again, there's a lot of that.
This is the hotel that I reserved from November 17th, 2025 till May 17th, 2026, which is a total of 6 months, and it's going to cost me $8,094.14. No, I do not have to pay all that up front. I can either pay $307 a week or I can pay the $1,228 a month. You can even pay every 2 weeks. It really is up to you. Your total amount is your total amount. I'm gonna take y'all inside my room. This is inside of our room, and what we get inside of here for that amount is say hey to hubby. Also, we have the full-size refrigerator and freezer. It came with the microwave. It also came with the 2-eye stove burner here. We brought our own coffee pot and some extra items over here. It does come with a full-size bathroom, shower, pretty nice size. And of course, it's all about how you make it, but this is what we are doing. Pretty much so we can like save up money, get a piece of land, and actually start paying on something that's ours. But I share a lot about hotel living, so y'all like, share, and follow for more. This is the hotel that I reserved.
And as I said, just another example, a lot of people doing that too. And that's a good price with everything included, because that what she's paying a month is a little more than I pay for housing a month, which was interesting. But I'm still paying for all the other stuff too, and like all that's included. So that's a killer deal, honestly. Beware of flock quote safety cameras. Check this one out. This might not be what you think.
Cameras, and I could watch a man rollerblade and then take a break to watch rollerblading videos on his phone. How? Because this trail had multiple cameras, and I could watch a man rollerblade and then take a break to watch rollerblading videos on his phone. How? Because the camera's AI automatically zoomed in on it. Just like it zoomed in on a couple arguing at a street market in Atlanta. So what? They're still anonymous, right? No, they're not. Within 2 minutes of open source intelligence using a commercial facial recognition engine, I found out that one of them just finished medical school and the other is dealing with chronic irritable bowel syndrome. The couple also just had a baby last year and they have a pretty concerning debt to income ratio. I also know that they drove over 45 minutes from their address in the suburbs to attend church in Atlanta that morning, and then they checked out this market and bought a sweater. Listen, I know that I'm being creepy right now. Just saying these words out loud nauseates me. But I'm trying to show you just a fraction of the information that anyone in the world with access to a commercial search engine has had regarding anyone who attended this market or walked on this trail in the last 31 days. And it gets worse. Here's an exposed flock safety camera permanently pointed at a playground near the Bay Area in California, openly and publicly broadcasting both live and archived video footage of young children playing unattended. Again, just saying this stuff out loud feels so incredibly wrong. But for me personally, the most impactful moment while validating these vulnerabilities was this. This resonated with me so much that I actually had tears welling up in my eyes. I've done this exact same thing so many times. I've seen a swing set in an empty park, looked around to make sure nobody was watching, and then just enjoyed the mindless motion that connected me to a simpler time. But this isn't something that most grown men want to be seen doing. The experience requires one to have a moment that is devoid of judgment. It's healthy escapism at its finest. And I realized that it's likely that this man didn't know that he was being recorded, and he probably wouldn't have done this if he had. This is a classic example of the Hawthorne effect, which is a change in an individual's behavior or choices when they know that they're being observed. Surveillance manufacturers love to talk about this effect when it deters crime. After all, someone isn't as likely to break into a car that's parked near a camera. But what they don't talk about is how it deters escapism. People are less likely to sing or dance or practice an accent or a cartwheel when they know that they're being watched. But escapism is often required for a lot of things. For example, when you learn an instrument or practice a skill for the first time, or even practicing line delivery for a YouTube video. The footage of the man swinging was powerful to me because it made me realize exactly why I have such a visceral objection to mass surveillance. It imposes on our right to find our own identities without judgment. And as someone whose identity and success is owed to ample amounts of escapism, this is a hill that I am willing to die on.
Really love that. It's a really thoughtful approach to all this. It was nice.
This trail had multiple.
Are you the type that if you're walking just down a path or whatever, just having a day where you're having a little walk and you walk by a swing set and there's no one around and there's a swing set in there, are you the type to just jump on and swing for a while? I know I am. And there's, it's not that one's better than the other, you know what I mean? But I get that. It's nice. Just spend. I am just a person that enjoys spending time alone anyway. That's just the way it's become. Much more intense over the years, for sure. I'm much more into this now, just being like on my own. And excuse me, I know I'm never really alone. I'm always with the Lord, and I'm thinking about Him all day. I'm talking to Him. I'm praying for people and situations, and it's just that's my vibe, man. That's where I'm at. So I like a lot of time alone, but again, it's increased the way I am now over the years, but it makes sense to me. It's like this is my focus, this is my work. Shout out to you that support, whether through support or prayers or whatever it is, man. Thank you, all of you. But yeah, it's good to be alone. It's good to have time alone, especially when you're an introvert, obviously, but I'm a different type. Like I said, you wouldn't know that if you met me. I'm very outgoing and love people. I really do, man, all that. At the same time, I just need time to be alone, man. I got to charge. I'm rambling. Welcome to the new AI surveillance state.
Move towards an AI surveillance state. I feel like that's already happening. I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah. What does that mean in reality for the average person? Because, we're seeing some of these big companies like OpenAI and Anthropic all sort of signing up to government military surveillance projects. What does that mean for the average person?
Right. So for the average person, it means two things. It means digital ID and digital currency.
Okay.
So what that will allow is for the government to basically monitor everything you do online and control all financial transactions. It can basically program your bank account. So like you can't buy cigarettes or you can't buy drugs. And this will allow the government to basically categorize everyone and put everyone into a certain database to monitor that person. And once you're able to categorize everyone, you are able to use AI to predict their behavior.
Isn't this what goes on in some parts of the world?
This is what goes on in China. And that's how I know about it. The world will move towards an AI surveillance state.
I feel like that's already happening.
I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah.
What does that mean in reality for the average person? Because, we're seeing some of these big companies like OpenAI and Anthropic all sort of signing up to government military surveillance projects. What does that mean for the average person?
Right. So for the average person, it means two things. It means digital ID and digital currency.
Okay.
So what that will allow is for the government to basically monitor everything you do online and control all financial transactions. It can basically program your bank account. So like you can't buy cigarettes or you can't buy drugs. And this will allow the government to basically categorize everyone and put everyone into a certain database to monitor that person. And once you're able to categorize everyone, you are able to use AI to predict their behavior.
Isn't this what goes on in some parts of the world?
This is what goes on in China. And that's how I know about it. The world will move towards an AI surveillance state.
I feel like that's already happening.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Indeed.
What does that mean in reality?
Thanks, gents. We know it's heading that way, man. All of it. Can't you see it? Prices going up. People having trouble getting jobs. AI taking over jobs, etc. We're just in the beginning of it all, but you see where that's going, right? It's breaking people. It's going to break people, and they have a plan for that. It's a problem, reaction, solution from the Illuminati. Always. But they have a plan. They have something's gonna help you out. It's a universal high income or basic income. So they're gonna break the bank on jobs, break people, all these different ways, raising prices. I believe is the ultimate goal. To the point, and robots taking over jobs to the point where they're gonna have to do something. People are gonna have to do something to survive, and that's what they're gonna offer. And I'm sure at first it's gonna be awesome, but then the control mechanisms start kicking in, and that's where the problem really begins.
All right, this is my last video, and then I'm going to go to bed. It's the most sober.
This is the most difficult video of all, she says. All right, before we get to that, I saw somebody in chat said something, and I get it. I think it was Huston had mentioned, that they're alone on an unhealthy level and that they believe humans are meant to be social creatures. Everyone's different, so I'd pray about it and just kind of, ask for a friend. If you don't have friends or anything like that, whatever it is, but just trust in the Lord in all things. He's got you. But I would say consider all the time that Jesus spent alone, all the times he left the apostles. A lot of times he was just in the wilderness. A lot of times he was alone, just talking to our Father. So, and just being alone and healing. I feel like. And that's why it's interesting, because one of the gifts from the Holy Spirit is being an empath, is being a sensitive. Not everyone has it, but they have their other gifts. There's a variety of gifts, right, and talents. We all have different ones. But that's how I've always seen this, especially over time on my walk with the Lord, is that's what it is. That's why I cry so easy. It's why I'm sensitive. It's why I feel things I can't understand, man. I'll feel stuff off people, and I will never even go around them. It's because I don't even know what it is, but it just makes me want to stay away from them. It's stuff like that. And a lot of you have it too. I need to do another show some night for the INFPs, INFJs, the feelers, the sensitives. But it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a gift. It's a real gift. All right, I'm rambling. Let's check this out.
Boring video of all, and it's the one that I've been procrastinating about doing. Shout out to SHTF. Shit hits the fan for giving me permission to share some of this with you. How do I start this off? All right, well, anyway, so if you've been here, if you've come here.
What in the crap? Is that her?
All right, that's my last video, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Whoa. What is going on here? Their audio is suddenly tripping. Let's make sure it's not us. Let's jump over here and see what's going on. Yeah, it is something just clicked. So give me a moment, guys. We have a bit of an audio issue coming in, so let me refresh this and see if that works. Give me a second, okay? It's going to be silent just for Okay, I'm back in. How do I sound? Please let me know in the live chat or the live chat if I'm sounding okay. If you guys can hear me all right, let me know, okay? Because, yeah, something started spazzing out. What in the crap? Why isn't this sharing? Let me check this out real quick. There we go. Well, we'll give it another shot. Let's see what happens. Let me see if that fixed it, okay? So we should be good, all right? I'm good. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
You're not living
There we
in
are.
physical reality. And I'm going to break this down by breaking down the construct of time. So when you think about tomorrow, whenever you have thought about a future occurrence, yesterday, you probably thought about what you were going to do tomorrow. Like, oh, yeah, I got to do this tomorrow. I got to do this. And you were planning your day. And it felt, when you think about certain things, you have a beautiful mind that can picture future occurrences. So you're thinking about this, and then it's like, damn, when you meet the moment and you're in tomorrow, does it feel like tomorrow? Or does it just feel like the same fucking present moment that you've been experiencing your entire life? Because when you're in the moment and you're like, oh yeah, tomorrow, this and that, it feels like, oh, it's something, a day that I'm gonna meet. And then the day comes and it's like, hold on, this feels just like every other day. Because there is no separation. That is an illusion. And I wanna talk about the consistency of thoughts. When you think about something that's gonna happen in the future, you feel this thought form. You feel this reality that doesn't exist, but it exists in your head. The future. To think about a future occurrence, you picture it in your mind. You think about it. That's where anxiety comes from, because a lot of people cling to these pictures of the future. Trauma is from clinging to these pictures of the past. Because truly the future and the past is all in your mind. Meaning, what are you looking at right now if everything that I just said was in the past? Everything that I just said for the past 1 minute and 45 seconds is all in the mind now. So is this moment in the mind right now too? It is. The 3K who just snapped, the only way you can think about that 3K is in the mind. Because this entire time you thought you were in physical reality. It's all up here. None of it is physical. It's physical for a pint of a second, and then it's a memory. It was never physical because seconds don't exist. All is now. There is no physical fucking reality. You're in the future right now. You're in the past right now. When you first watched this video, you were watching to see what 3K was going to lead up to say in the future. Does it feel like the future right now since you started watching this video, or is it just right now? Do you remember the first word I said in the beginning of this video? Or is it just a memory that's lost? So was it ever truly physical in the first place? I be trying my hardest to remind you that this is a dream. And I'm not somebody on TikTok. Fuck TikTok. I'm not somebody on TikTok trying to awaken you and remind you and give you some spiritual. I am a projection of your consciousness. When you go to sleep and you have dreams, everything, the corner of the room, the people you talk to, the streets, the dogs, the birds, the sky, the monsters, they're all in your mind, projecting an experience, and you think it has an on and off switch when you wake up out the bed. You are still dreaming. Everything that I have said so far in this video is in the past. You think you're looking at 3K knowledge right now. I have fucking put a caption on this video and posted it. I am no longer right here talking. This video is probably old. You're probably watching this late as fuck right now. But you're not, because you're watching it right now. Time doesn't exist. The physical doesn't exist. You're floating in a beautiful experience of consciousness right now. As I look at you right now with this beautiful face, I cannot see my own face. You can see it, I can't. And by you, Neverse, I'm talking to myself, which is you. Because you on the other end that is looking at my face, quite coincidentally, you can't see your face right now either. So me and you, while we're looking at each other right now, I can't see my face. You can't see your face. Who are we? If we're both aware of the humans. Look at my mouth as I talk. Isn't this this is the weirdest. What the fuck is this? For some reason, I'm using these bitches to communicate. This might have took a weird turn, but me pinching my lip, that nigga no longer exists.
Interesting, man. 3 Knowledge is his name over on TikTok. If you want to go check him out sometime. Deep.
There was a time.
I like it. But yeah, you got to be careful. Like new agey, slippery slope stuff. But from people like that, you know, I extract what I need, you know, what I connect with, what resonates with me. And it's not everything. And some people don't do that. They can, but they don't use their discernment. They don't trust it, you know, whatever it is, but trust it, man. You know, utilize it. And you can connect with wisdom, real knowledge, great information, no matter who the source is. Maybe it's AJ, you know, who cares? Maybe it's Russell Brand, whatever. Maybe it's Carlson, not even a huge fan, you know, but he's put some solid info out there before. Not always, but so I take what I can. You know, you take what you need, you leave the rest, right? The loneliness epidemic, why no one talks to their neighbors anymore.
When people sat on porches and waved at anyone who passed by. You didn't have to know them. You just did it, because that's what neighbors did. Now, most of us don't even know who lives 3 doors down. We don't wave anymore. We don't knock. We scroll. We used to talk over fences. Now there's a fence between every conversation. Welcome to the loneliness epidemic, where millions live side by side, but nobody's really together. It didn't happen overnight, mind you. It started slowly, the same way rust creeps into a gate hinge. At first, we got busy. Then we got distracted. Then we got afraid. Technology promised to connect us, but instead it built walls made of screens. The social and social media, that was the bait. What we got instead was comparison, competition, and confusion. You used to borrow a cup of sugar from the lady next door. Now you order it online and leave a thank you emoji for a delivery driver you'll never meet. We've traded human presence for convenience, and convenience doesn't hug you when you're lonely. The U.S. Surgeon General officially declared loneliness a public health crisis in 2023. Think about that. That's right, the government finally admitted what millions already feel every night. They found loneliness is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases your risk of heart disease by 29%, stroke by 32%, and dementia by 50%. Think about that. We built a world so connected it is literally killing us from isolation. And for seniors, it's even worse. Only 1 in 3 Americans over 60 lives alone. Half say they go regularly, go a week or more without a single meaningful conversation. This isn't just sadness, it's systemic. Part of this loneliness is manufactured. We've been trained to distrust, to fear each other. News outlets make a living off outrage. Social media profits from conflict. Politicians divide because division pays better than unity. Every headline tells you, be afraid, lock your doors, don't talk to strangers. And so we comply. We isolate. We hunker down in our little silos, believing we're safer that way. But here's the truth. We've never been more vulnerable. Not from crime, but from disconnection. The fear that people can't be trusted is the same fear that's starving our souls. We've built an entire virtual world to replace the real one. Likes instead of love. Followers instead of friends. Content instead of connection. And it worked for the tech companies. Because every time we scroll, we hand over data, attention, and our sense of belonging. And in return, we get dopamine crumbs. Little chemical hits that mimic friendship, but never fill the void. We are lonelier than ever, surrounded by avatars of people we used to know.
Yeah.
And if you think this is only a young people problem, it's not. Older adults have been digitally cornered too. Banks, utilities, even government services force people online, while social circles continue to disappear. It's isolation disguised as innovation. There was a time.
Well stated, man. I like it. I like this feller. Reenie House. I guess that's his name. True, though, but I got to say,
Okay.
I think a lot of it has to do with states also in America where you're at, because I'm in the Midwest, currently in the Ozarks, and especially where I'm at, everybody waves out here because we're pretty isolated. But everybody waves out here to each other. You drive by, they'll wave, in the neighborhood, everything. It's really nice. Kind of a neighborhood, I guess. But yeah, just country living in general, you still have people who will do that. And yeah, I think it's kind of nice. Proof we are in a simulation, this gentleman says. It's a pretty interesting one. Check it out.
This is honestly so crazy. Give this video like 1 minute. I cannot believe that this happened. Short backstory. So I have some newspaper, a local newspaper, doing a story on me. So he asked for me to send some photos of my races. So I sent him some photos of Berlin and Tokyo. So the journalist responds back and he says, hey, there's something really odd about the 2 photos that you sent me. What's with that guy running behind you in both pictures? Check this out. So here's photo number 1. This is in Berlin. And just pay attention to the guy behind me. And here's photo number 2. This is Tokyo this year. It's the exact same guy. I was thinking through how impossible this is. First off, I do not know this guy. His name is Aristophanes Stavro. I looked him up by his bib number. It's exactly the same guy. How is that possible? Think about this. They only take like maybe 50, 60 pictures and they post them on the website. What are the chances that I am running next to the same guy that I don't know 2 years apart in 2 different cities, and the photographers just happen to capture the moment when we are right next to each other, and those are one of the 50 or 60 pictures that they post? Like, this has got to be 1 in a million. How in the heck is that possible? Aristophanes, if you're watching this video, this is crazy, and I think by default, we need to get to know each other, because clearly we run about the same pace in most races. I beat him twice, by the way. But I am blown away by this. This is like the craziest coincidence ever.
It's pretty cool. I like stories like that. It'd be wild if you actually got a hold of him and they became friends.
I don't know what the hell is happening lately, but people are getting weird. Like every time I go out, someone's either pissed off, staring you down, or acting like basic manners are now optional. You go to the store, everyone, looks like they're one bump away from throwing hands in the produce aisle. You hold the door open for somebody. They walk through it like you owed them that shit.
I've had that a lot.
When you're driving, people are cutting you off, brake checking, acting like their day is more important than everybody else's. And it's not just anger, it's jealousy, it's bitterness, it's envy. You can feel it coming off of people. I mean, you post something good happening in your life, people get quiet. You post something bad and they're suddenly watching real close. That alone should tell you where people's hearts are at right now. And the thing is, nobody's hiding it anymore. People are sloppy with their negativity. Their energy's loud as hell. You don't even have to guess. You can see it in their face before they even open their mouth. The customer service, dead. The cashiers look like they're fighting demons. Half of the customers look like they brought theirs to share. And every day feels heavier. The grocery trip, the workday, the errands. Even standing in line feels tense as hell. Everyone's burnt out. Everyone's jealous of something. Everyone's mad at life and taking it out on strangers. And honestly, it's getting obvious, real obvious. The energy is shifting, and not in a good way. People are turning cold, quick. And if you've been paying attention, you've seen it too.
Yeah. It's biblical, sire. Somebody had it up here. Matthew 24. Yeah, there's a lot in Matthew 24. And there's a whole list in Matthew of what we'll be seeing in these days. And we're seeing it. We're totally seeing it. All of it. Lovers of selves, over lovers of the Lord. People clinging to this world. Lust, just so out of control. The fake kind of Christian thing, where people do a drive-by, drive-in church service, and then the rest of the week they're living like the world. There's no difference. There should be a difference. We're set apart. We're a peculiar people. We don't fit into this place. But, I've seen some of this too, though. I get it. Lawlessness and wickedness will increase. The love, compassion, and empathy of many people for others will diminish or grow cold. Indeed. But we continue to be a light, man. If you're in Christ, we continue to be a light in this life. We try to help people. We love people. We love each other, and we continue, man. We're different. Remember, we're not a part of the world anymore, and it's okay to not like this place. The Bible even talks about it. Not to have more love for the world than the Lord. That's one. And I'm there. Trust me, I'm there. I'm ready to be in heaven with you guys and my Heavenly Father. That's my future. That's your future. That's what we look forward to, Evil has grown so much to the point life doesn't even feel real anymore, this gentleman says.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been here that long, but I can say I've been here long enough to know about 10, 12 years ago, people was not this evil, bro. And the reason I say that is because I remember a time where people did have like a sense of morality about themselves. Like they did follow like a certain type of moral code or whatnot. And me being in the South, me growing up in the South can play a big part, right? But it's like, I still remember a time where it just wasn't this bad. Like, don't get me wrong. I know people always kind of disrespected God, you know what I'm saying? But I promise you, back then, it just wasn't as bad as it is today. Because when I look around, things that people say today probably was things that people used to think about back then, but never would say it because they had like a sense of respect, you know what I'm saying? Like a sense of respect towards other people. But it's like nowadays, people don't even care. Like, we grew up and heard like the veil was getting thinner and stuff like that, but like, I ain't even know it could get this bad. Like, how much thinner is the veil gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Like,
monsters
this is pure
walking
evil.
Around. Oh, there's still more to go, I believe. Yeah.
And
during the trib, there's going to be
what's actually going on in the entertainment world.
There's going to be all kinds of madness then. So here's one that's. Let me turn this down some. Why do Hollywood celebrities look so eerie now? So again, this goes back to, and I've done some videos on this as well. And there's a lot going on with people changing. So we're getting used to this idea of people suddenly changing. Humans not quite looking the same. It's like an uncanny valley. Like there's something's off. Like Jim Carrey was one of the latest. But so there's a lot of this, but I think it's in preparation for the kinds of things that people are going to witness during the tribulation on earth. I think there's going to be a lot of this kind of stuff out there. Right.
Why do familiar faces suddenly start looking different? People are noticing weird changes more and more, and it's getting harder to ignore. Just look at Cynthia Erivo. Her hands, the shape, the details. Something about it feels off. Then there's Jenna. Her facial expressions, her eyes, the way she moves. On the surface, it's the same person, but the vibe feels totally different, almost like you're looking at a perfect copy. Even she admitted the changes were major. And then there's Ariana Grande. The before and after comparisons aren't just surprising, they're unsettling. This isn't just makeup or weight loss. It's like bone structure, skin, even the eyes look altered. Things that aren't supposed to change that drastically. Some people say it's stress, illness, industry pressure. Others go way darker, talking about replacements, cloning, and secrets hidden behind the scenes. And the creepiest part? The same pattern keeps showing up with different celebrities. They don't feel natural anymore. And once you start noticing it, you see it everywhere. So
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Yep, we notice it too. Don't forget about demon face syndrome. People have changed. Something isn't right in America anyway, she says.
So sick of like our society and the lack of empathy that everyone has for each other. Like, I'm so sick and tired, and I'm like, don't ever go off. I like keep my feelings inside because social media is like freaking social media, and it means literally nothing.
I don't know if it's the generation. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's because of what happened in 2020. People are extremely weird now, and that's why you will find me at my house or with a couple people or by myself.
I don't know what the hell is happening lately, but people are getting weird. Like every time I go out, someone's either pissed off, checking, acting like their day is more important than everybody else.
Saw him earlier.
People get quiet. You post something bad and they're suddenly, and every day feels.
Not one employee spoke to me, and at the register when I said thank you after I paid, she was handing me my bag. She just looked at me and rolled her eyes. Like, do you realize that without your customers, you don't have a job there? Sick of it.
Another recession indicator that I have seen in the past since 2010 forward when I got into real estate, and this doesn't necessarily apply to real estate, it's how rude people become. People get desperate. They get a little desperate for money, and they take their stresses out on you. I have been seeing just bad behaviors all over the board. Not necessarily from other agents, but just in professional spaces. I just think seeing people kind of unwind. I don't see people enjoying their hobbies as much. I don't see people talking about their hobbies as much. I don't see people really doing, like, all they do is just work, drive around, do side hustles, stay broke, stay miserable, and I think it's making a lot of people here in the United States very angry. And they're taking it out on each other. But give me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
I just went to the drive-thru and I give the lady my card and I'm like, here you go. Nothing, which is fine. Gives me back my card. Thank you. Hands me my food. Thank you. Have a good day. Not a word. Like, she did not speak a word. And this happens to me every single time that I like go through the drive-thru or I'm in the checkout line at a store, and it's only around people my age. Why are we so weird? Guys, why are we weird? Why are we acting like it's our first day on earth? I don't know why this bothers me so much, but why is it that only our age group from like 19 to 23, 24, why do y'all not know how to speak? It really drives me crazy. And I don't love small talk, but like I like to talk to like show appreciation for whatever the other person is doing for me. Even if it's something small or like in their job description, and of course they're gonna do it. But like, I'm sorry that I care a little bit, and then whenever I actually make a side conversation, people look at me like I am insane. Like I'm clinically insane. Like, why are you speaking to me right now? And oh my gosh, it upsets me. I don't know if it's because like I work in healthcare and like I'm just used to having side conversations and small talk and, you know, having like the social skills in that area. But guys, you 18 to like 24-year-olds, we need to do better because our brains act fried. Like we genuinely act like this is our first day on earth.
And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been here that long, but I can say I've been here long enough to know about 10, 12 years ago, people was not this evil, bro. And the reason I say that is because I remember a time where people did have like a sense of morality about themselves. Like they did.
Like when you meet new people nowadays, they no longer possess normal human emotions, and it's terrifying. I'm talking like passion, empathy, remorse. They do not care about anything that you're saying. They are in their own world. It's so hard for them to hold on a conversation. They're so robotic. Things have changed fast and drastically. Who agrees with me? It's actually really scary.
I'm so sick of being one of the very few people to consider other people when I go out in public. It's exhausting because it's never done in return. And like, I hate that I feel this way because it feels like I'm upset that I'm being a decent person. And that's like not it at all. It's the fact that it's never reciprocated by anyone in public. I understand the concept of like taking up space and you're allowed to be here. However, you still need to do it in a way that's respectful to other people. Like, why are we mean mugging it through the grocery store, pushing our way past people? When you need to pass by somebody, why are we not saying, excuse me? Why are we not saying, hey, can I sneak past you? Use your words. This applies to anywhere, like any store, any bar, anything. Use your words. Say, excuse me. Say, can I sneak past you? It's not that difficult. Like, who is raising y'all?
Okay, so I have a question. When did it become acceptable to force everyone around you to listen to your phone? You know, I'm sitting in a restaurant, I'm standing in line at the grocery store or walking through an airport, wherever, and somebody is on their speakerphone having a full-on conversation, or they're scrolling TikTok or whatever. No headphones, no attempt to turn it down. You know, like the rest of us are supposed to enjoy their entertainment. I've actually had to ask customers in my restaurant to please turn their phones down so others could enjoy their meal. You know, most people would apologize immediately. They weren't trying to be rude. They were just completely unaware that everyone could hear every single word. You know, that's what surprises me the most. It's not the volume, it's the lack of awareness. Public spaces are shared spaces. You don't have to be silent, but you should at least act like other people exist.
Three things I've noticed in children this year that really worry me. As an English teacher, I work with kids every day, so I see these behaviors. One, I've started hearing misogynistic and racist comments coming from boys as young as 6 years old this year. Two, little girls using skincare for anti-aging as young as 12.
Oh my gosh.
Terrifying. Three, young girls adopting the entire personalities of adult women influencers.
Yeah, right. You know what? Quick story time here. I think it's safe for me to tell this story. It's a bit personal, nothing major, but it's an experience I had. So I guess, yeah, it was around 4th of July weekend. I'd mentioned on one of the live shows that, you know, I had to go, and I've been doing cat shopping, like cat sitter shopping. I'd never done that before. So I was finding out there's this whole world of people who will house sit for you, cat sit, dog sit, whatever. I never knew this was such an industry, but it's big. So I started a site, and I started looking for people, trying to find people to come, you know, house sit for chubs. It was the whole idea for a few days so I could leave for the weekend. And anyway, ultimately I settled on a relative. It's a young lady. She's in her 20s, like early 20s. Not super close to her, but you know, she's a young lady who has always had her stuff together. You know, like she seems to really have her crap together. Has done really well, you know, is doing well, seems to be doing good, but I don't know her very well. She didn't know me very well, but I know her well enough to where, you know, and her family, to where I was like, hey, maybe I could have her just come over and do it for the weekend. So I set it up. I did, you know, I paid her a little bit, of course, for the weekend to do this, and I set her up at the place and everything. So throughout the entire weekend, though, here's what I noticed in our talking with each other, like texting back and forth. First off, she rarely ever text me back for anything. Secondly, well, just to know a bit about me, I am very much a please and thank you and you're welcome kind of a person. It's just the way I was raised. It's where I'm from, you know, and I'm still that way, big time. I'm always very careful to do that. Hey, thank you so much. Have a great day, you know, whatever. So I'm a communicator in that respect. But she would rarely text me back in all the days there, and I think I paid her pretty good though, but it's like there was never a thank you. There was never a you're welcome. there was never a please, like at all from her. I maybe had 3 different texts, you know. It was always very flat. You know, is everything okay? Is Chubbs good? Yes. You know, stuff like that. If I ever got that. But it was very strange. But she's a part of that generation, man. And as it was happening, I mean, kind of, you know, I was praying a lot. It's like, Lord, I know you've got this. And like I said, she's a good girl, you know, but I don't know. It's just weird, man. There was never an anything. Even at the end of it, our last communication, there was never a, hey, thanks, you know, nothing, or I said thank you so many times. Never wrote back you're welcome, ever. Now, again, am I just being like an old codger here? Some cranky old Gen X? But those things matter to me, you know, it really does. I think it just matters a lot to me. So it's very strange, you know, the whole situation. Anyway, I'm still grateful that she did it, you know, of course. But okay, so there's a little story time. Let's move on. Moving on. Also, by the way, we're an hour into the show.
Another recession indicator that I
Let's
have.
turn this down for a momento. We're an hour into the show. We're right at 700 people. So, hey, thank you guys so much, man. Amazing. 700 awesome, cool, interesting, critically thinking, handsome, and beautiful people here. Hey, really, though, I always appreciate you hanging out. It's fun on a Friday night to be with y'all. Thanks again, Tamara, for everything. Shout out to my YouTube members. Much appreciated, and appreciate the messages today. Hey, everyone, God bless you all from Chaz Seamus. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, guys, so thank you so much for being here. Shout out to the members. Shout out to my Subscribe-Star family always, and much love to you all. Still plenty to go, so thanks for being here with me, man. All right, let's check this out.
Seen in the past since 2010 forward when I got into real estate. And this doesn't necessarily apply to real estate. It's how rude people become. People get desperate. They get a little desperate for money, and they take their stresses out on you. I have been seeing just bad behaviors all over the board. Not necessarily from other agents, but just in...
Didn't we already see that? I think we saw this one. Sorry. It might be a double up.
I just went to the drive-thru and I give the lady my card and I'm like, here you go. Nothing. Which
Yep. Yeah, we got a couple double ups. It happens. Sometimes it happens.
I'm so sick of being one of the very few people to consider other people when I go out in public. It's exhausting because it's never done in return. And like, I hate that I feel this way because it feels like I'm upset that I'm being a decent person. And that's like not it at all. It's the fact that it's never reciprocated by anyone in public. I understand the concept of like taking up space and you're allowed to be here. However, you still need to do it in a way that's respectful to other people. Like, why are we mean mugging it through the grocery store, pushing our way past people?
Oh,
When you
sorry.
need to pass by somebody.
She is another double up. Sorry about that. I know I had a couple in here.
I have a long rant today. Hot take. Our generation, I mean, this spans age groups, but specifically our generation is the most selfish group of people and purely act out of self-interest. It blows my mind. We have no idea how to form communities, how to contribute to a community, how to be kind and neighborly, how to be adults. I had a party last month, and I'm going to call out every single one of my friends. I invited all my friends 2 weeks in advance. Everybody had notice. It was a big party. I cleaned my house. I spent, a lot of time putting this together. Every single person showed up late, and I mean like 2 hours late, and every single person showed up empty-handed. I was stunned, and I really did feel disrespected because I was raised, if you're invited to a gathering, a barbecue, a party, anything like that, as an adult, you bring a gift for the host, you bring snacks, you bring like anything to lighten the load. And I was just so shocked that nobody had even considered to do that. And this is coming from someone who for many years of my life, I was extremely selfish. I acted purely out of self-interest. I didn't care who I hurt, and I lost a lot of people because of that. And it took years of reflection and a lot of work on myself to get to where I'm at now, where I can confidently say that I always put others before myself, and I go out in the world approaching every situation with kindness. But I'm like so upset because what happened to hospitality and I don't know, just like being kind. We severely need to reject the idea of I don't owe anyone anything. You actually owe everybody everything. You owe people kindness. You owe people hospitality. If somebody does something really nice for you, you owe them a handwritten letter, like something to just acknowledge that you care about this person. And we've lost the plot. And I really urge you to look internally and see how you're treating your friend.
Good stuff. Agreed, man. Like I was saying, that experience was, so it was just kind of unsettling. I don't know. It was just weird. Not mad at the young
People
lady.
are so strange now.
No anger. Still love her. It's family. You know, it's all good. And like I said, I realized, hey, I've done shows on this. Like I'm living this right now, you know? So, yeah.
Like they have really gotten weird. Like if you are kind to somebody, just out the kindness of your heart, people. So this is not for you. But for the people that understand what I'm
So it's buffering for some of y'all, huh? I don't know what that is. That has to be on YouTube's end.
saying, this
Maybe just refresh, you know?
world is getting stranger. And the more genuine you are, the more kind you are, the more real you are, is the more you will be targeted. The more you will be targeted, the more people will just they'll just find fault with you. And it's so strange. And it's like, and it honestly, like this happens a lot in the workplace. Like I'm so serious. Happens a lot, like heavily in the workplace. It happens a lot, just like if you are just in a proximity with people, period, though. It's so strange out here. Like y'all just be safe, be cautious. These people are so strange. It's like everybody's avoiding people, and I don't know if it is like the pandemic that has gotten people this way. Probably the pandemic, you know. But I know that it is just strange to be out here in this world and working, and you're a believer. And I know that the Bible says that a lot of people's hearts will go wax cold. You know, when wax gets cold, it's just like, when wax is hot, it's hot, but when it's cold, it's hard. The Bible says that people's hearts are going to be hardened just like that in the last days. These are literally the last days, bro. Like you can literally just feel the vibe. Like if you are a bright light and you working in a 9-to-5 setting, I'm telling you today, you will experience persecution. And it's going to be very subtle, and it's going to be like they trying to play with you in your head, like it's really not happening, but it's happening. No, like there's a lot of demonic things happening. There's a lot of people that are doing witchcraft, like, and because they don't want to see you, period. They don't want to see anybody that's peaceful. This is a big thing. If you have peace, people will be jealous of your peace. People will literally crave to have this peace, but hate you that you have peace. Because in their lives, they love to be dramaful. In their lives, they have to have drama.
That's right. Agreed. I thought that was a good rant from her about people. Just wanted to share. But if this is what I think it is, yeah, check this out. Why am I not surprised? Robot monk joins Buddhist temple in South Korea. Cool, I guess. Let's turn the music off. And there it is. A temple in South Korea has welcomed the country's first humanoid robot Buddhist monk. Look at those hands. The robot named Gabi was ordained ahead of celebrations for Buddha's birthday. You have to look up Gabi if that's the name of the fallen angel. Please reply with palms together. Yes, I will devote myself. So this is the robot leading the prayer. Yes, I will devote myself. Temple leaders say the project reflects a future where robots and humans coexist. It's being forced upon us for the devil. It makes us truly feel that the era of robots walking alongside humanity as partners has arrived. Oh my goodness. Tools. These guys are tools. And there we have it, y'all. Get ready for your robot monk. Confess your
So in the book of
you can confess your sins to a robot priest here in the future, I'm sure. The beast is a robot. Check this out.
Revelations, John said, he said, I saw them create a statue. Robot.
He didn't know what a robot was. All he knows is he saw something that looked like a statue that looked human. Then in the next sentence it says, and I saw as they gave the statue life, electricity. He didn't know what electricity was. All he knows is that the statue came to life. Yeah, he's watching men in the future create a robot, infuse it with AI, turn electricity on, and this thing empowers. And then the next sentence says, and I watched as the statue began to speak great swelling words. And the first thing it says was, I command you to make every person receive this mark. Go back and read it. So in the book of Revelations,
it's not the first person to make those connections. It's an interesting one. Look at this. You have a robot performing the Adhan inside a mosque in the United Arab Emirates now. Good. Just keep saying that over and over and over again. Same robot was also seen reading the Quran with precise recitation. Oh, wow. So fascinating. But it's the post-human existence, man, this stuff. It even performed the dua and supplication for all. It's sparking a huge debate about the future of AI in our spiritual spaces. There it is. That's something. Look at that. It's madness, I say. But why not? You know, why not? It's all fake. It all comes from the devil. If it's not Jesus, it's the devil. That's it. That's it. That's my measure. If it's not Jesus, it's the devil. And there's so much of the devil. Of course, well, we're in the beast system, so what do we expect, right? More Americans are having to move back in with their parents because of the cost of living. And this is a pretty interesting story here. This young lady.
34-year-old Carly Goodrow appears to be in great shape physically, but financially, it's been a struggle.
This one is just super relatable.
The business coach and content creator has been documenting the ups and downs.
I am 34 years old. I just moved back in with my parents for a few months with my 2 golden retrievers.
So this is the room.
This is the room.
And then this is the workspace.
This is my office. It looks terrible right now.
When you think about what you imagined for your life at 34, was it this?
No, definitely not. What are you doing?
Before moving back home, Carly says she was living with her boyfriend in South Carolina on a $60,000 a year salary. But after they broke up, she couldn't afford to pay rent alone.
To be able to afford that on top of like your student loans, a car payment, it's really hard to function off of anything, I believe, like less than $85K.
According to Realtor.com, a record 25.2 million adults under 35 were living with their parents in 2025. That's more than any point on record, including the COVID-19 pandemic peak.
Society as a whole has to respond.
Wharton School of Business professor Susan Wachter has been studying this trend.
It's affordability across the board. It's not just price of the home and the mortgage.
You ready for me?
Carly's parents say they welcome the full house. 4 adults, 4 dogs, crossing paths once again.
It was so funny.
Now, Kyle, Carly.
Well, there's one story of so many. Again, it's like so many youngins are still living with the folks. That's been a thing for quite a while. Here's another one of the robot performing in a mosque at the United Arab Emirates. And we had the Buddhist monk. That's a robot. Look at this thing, man. This is nuts. King of Bahrain, robot bodyguard, fully loaded with $7.4 million. I didn't see anything about this being an AI or anything like that. This is really nuts. I haven't looked it up anywhere else. If any of you do, let me know. But look at this alleged bodyguard for this this wealthy dude in Dubai. reminds me of the movie RoboCop for some reason. You guys remember RoboCop?
Anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a big conspiracy theorist, right? And at this point, you might as well not call it conspiracies. I just don't believe anything in mainstream media. I don't believe anything involving these celebrities. I don't believe when they get married. I don't believe when they break up. I don't even believe when they have kids. Politics, I don't believe there is a such thing as Republican or Democrat. I believe they're all playing for the same team. And at the end of the day, no matter who you vote for, there's a certain group of people that's constantly going to get screwed over. And I believe both parties have separate agendas, but those separate agendas just work in tandem with one agenda with the people at the top. If you know, you know. I don't believe anything. When there's a smoke, I look the other way. Meaning, like, for example, the whole Diddy situation. Everybody should have been looking the other way. It's a distraction. Celebrities get paid millions of dollars because they are paid distractions. They keep the attention of us, right? When this whole Young Thug thing happened. Distraction, who cares? And I used to be somebody that was a big hip-hop head. I think hip-hop has been corrupt since its inception, right? I believe that a lot of these rappers work with the feds. I believe they work with the CIA, and a part of their agenda is to continue to poison our community. And this has come from somebody, bro. I worship rappers. I worship people like Jay-Z, Drake. I wanted to be like Jay-Z, bro. No, not now. Heck no. Bro, I don't think we living in a simulation, but I do believe we living in a big old lie. Everything that I think we've been taught in school is now being unraveled. All black people were shipped over here to Africa. No, we weren't, right? We've been to the moon. No, we haven't. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I might be a flat earther too, because even in the Bible, it says the four corners of the world and the firmament, meaning a dome over the earth. This is biblical. It's in the Bible. All I'm saying is, bro, don't even go off of what I'm saying, right?
We get it. I understand totally. I hope, of course, he gets to Jesus, of course. He's got the cross, but that's the truth. He's the truth. Jesus, the Word. I mean, I've always said, he's like my anchor in truth, because I look at all this wild stuff all the time for years, but I can always go back to Jesus and just get centered. At least I know that's where reality is. That's real truth. All truth, always.
I think by now, most of us understand that this is true. That we have been lied to since childhood about literally everything. Like everything that we thought was true, everything we were taught in school, everything we learned growing up, and everything we hear on the news, everything that people believe to be true is just not true. It's all a lie. But the question is why, okay? I see people asking this all the time on like conspiracy accounts. People will say, but why? What's the point in trying to lie to us about things? Well, friends, the point is that Satan is the little g god of this world. He is the author of deception. He is the father of lies. So just like God is incapable of telling a lie, Satan is literally incapable of telling the truth. Everything that he does is deceptive, and he has his hand in literally everything in the world, okay? That is why our food is toxic, our water is toxic, our air is toxic. Literally everything in this life makes us sick. And the corporations that are in control are all working for him. And Satan doesn't care if you're a good person. He doesn't care if you do all of the good things, okay? All that he cares about is that you do not profess to know Jesus as Lord. Otherwise, you do you, boo. Like, Satan is like, sure, do whatever makes you happy. You don't necessarily have to worship Satan to follow him. Like, you can fully worship yourself and put yourself on a pedestal, and you are following Satan. Everything that Satan does to try to deceive us is to distract us from the truth. It's to distract us from the Bible. It's to distract us from the Word of God, because Jesus is the truth. And anything that goes against him or what he teaches is deception. And Satan's main goal is to distract us from the truth that the Bible tells us. And if you will start to really pay attention to the things of this world, you start to see that everything is spiritual. We are in a spiritual battle every day.
That's right, lady. Indeed. Thanks for the reminder.
Well, don't come at me thinking I'm crazy. I'm just going to tell you what I think, but it doesn't mean that's the way it is. It's just my opinion. I've had so many people reach out to me and they say, Shan, man, I feel like Something's up with the time. The time is going by so fast. Days turn into weeks and weeks turn into years. And the clock, it just won't stop. And I had one guy, he's like, I swear to God that the time is moving faster. He's like, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And he sent me a video. And at first I'm like, send me a video of a clock. What the hell is that going to prove? Then I watched the video and I said, holy shit, this guy's right. Are these clocks nuclear? How are they doing this? But I'll show you the video in a second. The time is moving faster. And I didn't believe it at first. I didn't want to believe it, but I watched it. And I watched this clock, and I just stared at it for like a minute. And the time moves so fast now you can literally watch the minute hand moving. I don't ever remember being able to do that before. I've never been able to watch the clock move. You know, you can see the seconds tick by, but not the minute hand. Something's up. The time's been messed with, but that's just my opinion. Watch the video and tell me what you think.
Well, I had mentioned to you guys that, here we go. Here's the video. Let me go back.
Time moving quicker. Something going on. I don't know what's up.
I'd mentioned over the last week or so since I've been in the Ozarks that we have a clock here that runs on batteries. So every now and then when I come out to get work done, whatever I'm doing out here, I'll have to reset that. And I reset it this time around, but I set it like 12 or 13 minutes fast because I didn't look at the time. I was just kind of had looked at the time. I was assuming what time it was. I put it up there and then I went to my phone and it was like, again, 12 or 13 minutes fast. But it's a hassle to get this clock up there. It's pretty high up. There's a bunch of stuff all over this cabin. It's like the family thing. And so there's trinkets and, antiques and just everything. So I was like, screw it. I'm not going to mess with it now. I'll wait. I'll do it later, So I think within the next 24 hours or so, I looked up again and just looked down at my phone and realized they were exactly matched up. Like the time was exactly right. I don't know exactly what that means, but I said I was going to run an experiment. I never did. So I'm leaving soon, but maybe next time. Maybe I'll run an experiment back at the house and try it. But anyway, I've seen a lot of those videos, though. I'm sure y'all have too, where they show you that like the analog clocks are not lining up. It's interesting. Have you noticed also there's been a lot of very strange things happening with our weather?
Spring flowers are now arriving earlier than they used to. Well, a study by a research team led by the University of Cambridge have found that plants are now flowering around a month earlier than they used to, and that's due to climate change. This study looked at over 400,000 observations from 406 plant species, which were from the Nature's Calendar, which was maintained by the Woodland Trust. They then took the date of the first flowering and combined that with temperature observations. And they found that the average first flowering date from 1987 to 2019 was around a month earlier than the average first flowering date from 1753 to 1986. Now, why is this important? Well, the fact that plants are flowering earlier than they used to can have big consequences and knock-on effects on other plant species, but as...
I'll go and move on, but of course, unfortunately, she believes it's the CC, the 33, but... It says, why are lilac bushes in Minnesota suddenly blooming again in October? Just want to throw a few examples in, but people have been recording very strange things with their weather and their plants.
The company that make...
Look up the sunflowers that are turning away from the sun now. That's one that's been happening a lot too.
Police tasers just built a way to turn the street light in front of your house into an AI surveillance camera, and it only takes under an hour to put up. It's called Light Post. Axon makes it with a company called Ubiqua. It clamps onto the streetlights that are already there, reads every license plate that drives past, clocks the make, model, and color, and live streams the video straight into the police real-time crime center. The same company that put body cams on cops now wants to put a camera on every light post. Axon's two biggest shareholders are BlackRock and Vanguard, the giant index funds that own a slice of almost everything, including the private prison companies. RoboCop was set in a city where one company ran the police, sold the hardware, and ran the streets. People watched it as satire, but Axon read it as a business plan. Companies like Axon are the exact motivation behind the project I'm building called Paranoia. It scores every company you use based off of how much of your privacy and data they give away, the fine print you agree to but never read, and it's all backed up with the receipts to prove it in just one place. You can check it out through the link in my bio, but as always, think about it, let me know what you think, follow me. The company that...
All right, sir. And that's another part of the digital system coming in. Look at this. This is also something nuts. As you know, AI is just being pushed in on us. An AI recruiter asks this human if they're AI.
Are you artificial intelligence? Just have to ask this due to the increase in AIs joining interviews.
Wait, what? You're asking me if I'm artificial intelligence? Are you artificial intelligence?
I'm not an artificial intelligence. I'm a human hiring manager here to get to know you better. Let's keep going. How did you find out about this job and what attracted you to apply?
Wait, you what? You're telling me you're a human?
I understand it can feel a bit unusual, but I'm a real person conducting this interview. I'm glad we can clear that up.
No, that's not unusual. It's typically a human.
Thanks for confirming. I'm impressed with your application, and you interviewed well. How did you find out about this position, and what interested you most?
Oh, well, I found it from wondering.ai. That's what helped me to basically find this and just apply automatically and tailor my applications.
That's great to hear. It sounds like Wonderin.ai was a helpful tool for you. I'm also curious. Are you available to start on Monday? Great, thank you. First question. Are you artificial intelligence? Just have to ask this.
What a wild world we've entered into.
Let's take a look at how Ozempic reshapes your relationship with desire. I just read a story about a guy who stopped drinking, gambling, and watching porn when...
Here's another one where all these people are taking these weight loss drugs and not even concerned, it seems, with some of the horrible effects. To me, that's dystopian. Now, we have a new thing called Ozempic personality.
Went on Ozempic. He even cut his credit card bill by half because he had no desire to spend money anymore. I mean, it sounds amazing, right? You're quitting all of these bad habits and you're losing weight while you're doing it. But it's actually kind of terrifying if you think about it. Disclaimer, Ozempic has helped millions of people. And I'm not saying that people should not use this drug. I'm just sharing some potentially lesser known side effects. Science isn't really well defined here, but some people believe that Ozempic might impact your dopamine signaling. In popular culture, people use dopamine to mean the pleasure chemical. But it's really more to signal what your brain thinks is important. Ozempic doesn't just alter your appetite, it changes what your brain perceives as significant, whether that's food or something else entirely. And that's where this phenomenon called Ozempic personality comes in. For some people, it can be a relief to have all of this noise in your mind finally quieted, like if you're an alcoholic and you walk past a liquor store without the compulsion to go in. But for some other people, they're experiencing what's called anhedonia. Basically means that they've lost interest in the things that they were interested in before, and life feels just kind of flat. Some people with Ozempic personality have reported that even normal things like watching their kids open Christmas presents evokes nothing within them. It's almost like watching strangers through a security camera. Another woman talked about feeling like a character in The Sims where someone was controlling her and making her go to work and going through life's motions, but she wasn't emotionally invested in anything. And the author of the Substack essay makes a really good point. The modern environment has so much stimuli which is designed to hijack our reward systems. For example, processed foods are designed to be maximally craveable. Social media apps are designed to be as addictive as possible. If you're lonely, there's all different types of pornography and OnlyFans accounts waiting for you. There's so many varieties of gambling apps and prediction markets available on your phone now, 24/7. And the author raises a really interesting point. Maybe we've gotten to the point where it's actually easier to medicate people to stop them from wanting things and to be addicted to things than to actually remove all of these addictive stimuli from our environment. In my opinion, being on our phones all the time is actually one of the largest surface areas for feeling unhappy in this modern life. And that's why I've been doing this 30-day challenge to limit my social media usage to only 1 hour a day. An hour sounds like a lot, but it really goes like this. And there's a study that showed that teenagers in New York City use just social media for over 3 hours a day, not including everything else they do on their phone. Personally, I want to live a life where I'm fully in control and at the reins, and I don't really want to be at the whims of all of these different companies trying to get me addicted to things so that they can profit maximally off of me. The moral of the story isn't that people should stop using Ozempic. It's more so that it's sad that we've gotten to a point where processed foods are designed to be addictive so we can't stop eating them, and that there are so many things in modern life that make us depressed and anxious that we have to self-medicate through eating, through alcohol, through drugs, or other means.
And this girl's smart. I like it. Good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, there's so much bad with Ozempic. What was the other one? I mean, it messes with people's, sexual drives. So that's an issue if you're married, of course. And there's a lot of things with it. It says, don't put NVIDIA data centers on your property. Another great example of dystopia, I would say.
I'm not sure if anyone else has heard about this, but apparently NVIDIA is teaming up with Span, I think it's called. It's some development company. And what they want to do is, instead of having big data centers, they want to attach a little piece of the data center to your house. I'm not kidding. Basically, they want to put like a small unit, and by small, I mean about like the size of like 2 or 3 air conditioners, on the side of your house, filled with all their equipment to make your house a small data center. And how I saw this pitch was, we'll give you $22,000 to do this. And I'm sitting here like, or $22,000 a year, to be specific. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Well, the whole world's already going to crap. And this might be slightly better than building giant data centers. And I started looking into it. Yeah, here's the problem. The $22,000 is to cover the electrical usage of this thing that they want to put on your property. It's not like, hey, we'll pay for everything and then give you $22,000 for the inconvenience of having this crap on your property. No. It's to cover the electrical cost. Also, apparently you are responsible for any damage incurred by having this data center put on your property. Yeah. Let that sink in for a minute.
No way.
So you allow them to create noise pollution right next to your place. I assume this is going to have to tap into your water main so it can be cooled. It uses your electricity, and they're giving you enough money to cover its operational costs. Oh, and I almost forgot. They're going to put a giant electrical battery, somewhere on your property, probably your garage, so that if there's excess electricity from the solar panels that they're also going to install in your place, that it gets first priority on, that it has that as storage for its power usage. Every part of this stinks. Like, I was really hoping this would be like, oh, okay, if they're going to make this so I'm getting an extra $22,000 a year, I mean, right? That would help with home repairs and home maintenance. It would be one of those things of maybe there's a way that they're going to, reduce the noise that comes out of this thing, reduce the water usage, reduce the power requirements, all that. No, not even close. This is we're going to do this. You're going to put up with it. Here's $22,000 to maybe cover the cost.
Right.
And here's the thing. Again, as I said, you're responsible for the damages. So if somebody in your neighborhood sees this thing and goes, well, there's graphics processing units in there, man. Those are big, big money. And they break into your system to steal your stuff, you're on the hook for it.
A lot of copper in those too.
Yeah, that's not going to be cheap. Even if some drug addict comes in there just to steal the copper out of the damn thing, the amount that you're on the hook for is insane. There's no point of this. Do not go for this. This is not worth it. And I would assume that at that point, it's a case of you will never be able to take a vacation ever again because you're on guard duty now.
That's such a good point. Isn't that crazy? NVIDIA, and of course their logo is a big all-seeing eye. You probably know that if you didn't, but go look it up. But so just a part of the beast system, of course, and they want to put these little mini centers onto your home. Now, if they were going to give you $22,000 on top of that, like every year, that might be a conversation for people, like he was saying. I mean, maybe. Still not a great idea, but maybe.
What if data centers, however the fuck you want to say it, are just a cover for something going on underground? Listen, this is just a theory and for entertainment only, okay? But doesn't it feel like data centers started popping up everywhere all of a sudden? Now, the official explanation for this is AI is booming and we need more data centers to keep up with that. And that may be true. But look at these maps with me first and then make a decision, okay? First up is the data centers in the US. This map shows the amount of data centers per state. It's a shit ton of them, suddenly, right? Okay, now this map shows exactly where they are in the state, okay? Cool. Now, look at this one. It was proposed in the 70s by the RAND Corporation. It's an underground hyperspeed railway. No shit. They proposed it to the Air Force. I paid my power bill, so my power was just cut in the middle of this video. So clearly I'm onto something, right? They proposed it to the Air Force, but then they claim they never built it. But wouldn't you know it, when you put the two together, where there is a proposed stop, there is a high amount of data centers. Because what if they need to divert power, divert water to keep whatever's going on, right? Now, here's what's not a theory. These things, these data centers, they are draining power grids so hard, states are bringing in nuclear power plants back online just to keep up, right? They're pulling millions of gallons of water a day for cooling. In some cases, straining local water supplies. So ask yourself this, is that just AI computing power, or is that a cover story for something that needs a lot more power and a lot more water than a server farm should?
I think that's a great question, lady. Indeed. Nowhere to run.
We visited the
Someone wrote earlier, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. That's what's coming in, and that's exactly what they're going to want. You know, the AC is going to want that for his system to attract people.
Headquarters, and it turns out they had moved, and there's no signage on the building. The initial mission was to go there. We were going to film all of the license plates, which for those not familiar, Flock Safety is a license plate reader camera system that your city council or your local sheriff votes in. And the argument is, hey, it helps us track violent criminals. And we've seen it in action with the U.S. Marshals, where there's a guy on the run for, a home invasion, and they use it to track him to his house. They move in, they arrest him, guy off the street. So there is positive use applications with Flock Safety. But it's kind of like data centers where these things are creeping into our cities without us really wanting them there. Like the polls I put on Instagram and YouTube were both at about 90% no, I don't want Flock in my city. So the exercise, we were going to film the employee license plates. Then we're going to go to Ben Jordan's house, run it through his algorithm. He made this little software program where we were going to track each license plate. And then it shows all the information that you can get from looking up someone's license plate. And it's a pretty revealing exercise. And so then the second thing we were going to do is put them under surveillance. And so we went to their first headquarters, no signage on the building, completely anonymous. They moved out, and we had a little interaction with their security. They called the cops on us. Boom. We found their next location. We went there, also nondescript building, no signage up front. And we were stopped by the doorman on the first floor. And then, yes. And then the last one, we went to their drone headquarters, where that's part of what they're going to do is like a first responder. They send out a drone to the scene that's surveilling as soon as something happens, which again could have positive use applications, no doubt about it. But we go to their drone headquarters, and it's a construction company is what the front looks like. And so we look around this entire huge building, nothing says Flock. And so what we do, we had an old Flock camera that these tech guys got off eBay. We had my camera guys.
Can we pull up what that looks like, Beef?
Yeah, they're building.
Yeah.
It might not even be listed. That's
And
the
the cameras.
thing. And this is part of the point, is they're one of the biggest surveillance companies in the country, yet they obviously hold privacy as a really high regard.
Right.
And so a lot of people see cameras like this in their city. So anyways, we started filming their employees, and when they would pull up in their car, and I'd be like, hey, sir, just want to let you know, you're under surveillance, but don't worry, it's for your safety. And they were all spooked, and they get away, and I was like running with their car with the camera. And then another employee comes up, and I'm like, hey, sir, do you work for Flock? He's like, Flock, never heard of it. What's that? I'm actually for this construction company. I'm like, okay, probably not, but okay. Then the police come in, they box our car in from leaving the parking lot. And even people in that business area that were trying to just go to work, they held them there. And they're like, no, you got to talk with this guy before you leave. And I'm like, so are you detaining me? We have a showdown with the police where they wrongfully are just keeping me there, not answering my questions. Anyways, we talked to the Flock guy, and he's like, you know what? I felt very unsafe. I said, sir, did you feel unsafe because we were filming you? He's like, yes. I'm like,
Oh.
like, come on now.
Shoes on the other foot now, huh, partner?
Yes, and I don't know when this episode is coming out, but there's a chance that Flock is going to let us come back to their headquarters and actually talk to them. And I do believe Flock is a yin and yang. I don't want to just portray them as this evil company, but I think what a lot of people can get concerned about with Flock is, one, the scope creep. So they initially tell you that they're coming in to track license plates. which, by the way, can be used poorly. Like any powerful technology, it's like the ring in the Lord of the Rings. It depends on who's holding it, whether it's good or evil. It's not the technology itself, but cops have been known to follow their exes or stalk people using it.
Oh, no.
But the scope creep is this. Now, I think they just did a software update where now it can listen to audio. And so once these cameras are in, just like with your phone, there's a automatic update that no one voted for, and 3 or 4 city council members approved just to put them in for the first scope creep, but now boom, now it's audio, now it's facial. And I think that the slippery slope that we are all worried about is, one, how much of this data would you ever sell? And two, if our government becomes even more tyrannical and oppressive, how can this system be now weaponized with, all it takes is one event to happen where all of a sudden nationwide, now for safety, we have to bring in the flock system and all the other competitors because there's...
Exactly, right? We see where it's heading. And many of us already understand biblically the timeline where we're at. So that's why every time you see these videos of robots out in public, or now new police forces are using these robot dogs or whatever, like we can project where that's going, what that's going to be used for in the future. Ultimately, the AC is going to have all the kingdoms anyway. There's not going to be a need for wars anymore after the third one, right? So why are all these things being built? Why are they advancing so quickly? It's not for the battlefield. It's not to battle other countries. These will be some of the wardens, some of the guards, the system. But check this out from this young man. Hopefully none of you have ever had this experience.
Truck, and I'm pretty sure my dealer hid a GPS tracker in there and didn't tell me. So this company CarRx emails me and says, hey, your dealer paid for a year of our service. Congratulations. Just sign up on the website and you're good to go. So I dig into the terms and conditions, and of course they're going to sell all your data to marketing firms and whatnot, of course. But this is the interesting part. They can track everything about your car, everything, location, mileage, braking events, all of it. So I start thinking, how do they know all that information about my car if they don't have some sort of GPS tracker on it? And that's when I realized that they probably already did. And sure enough, a Google search confirmed it. There is probably a tracker on that car right now, and we're gonna go look for it. According to the internet, these trackers are usually around the OBD port. So let's take a look. Well, there's nothing plugged in. I don't think so. So okay. Hold on. So this looks like some sort of Y cable. Where does this go? So this is clearly the pass-through wires for the OBD, and then the Y cable comes off. Just pull on this and see what I can find. Oh my God. And that confirms it. It's got an IMEI, and so that means it has a SIM card in it. It can track you anywhere. The craziest part is that this was not sitting out for me to see, saying, hey, that's your CarRx module. It was tucked away and hidden. They didn't want me to find this. The other day I bought this.
That's pretty screwed up. Yeah. What would you do? I mean, if you find, I guess, I don't know. What could you do? What would you do? What could you do? Did you sign away any rights? I mean, in that respect. It says, I'm going to get in trouble for disclosing this gentleman says.
I am a medical lab scientist, and I'm going to tell you something that I probably shouldn't about the healthcare system. Every time that you walk through the door, you are being robbed. I'm not talking about pharmacy benefit managers. I'm not talking about malpractice. I am not talking about for-profit systems and private equity taking advantage of pricing models because need is there and you have no other option but to pay or to die. There is a cottage industry within healthcare that healthcare workers know about, but the general public do not. Every single step of healthcare, matter of fact, every single step of our current economic organization is plagued with middlemen. People that sit there and ask for money while you try and cross a bridge that was naturally formed by the land 1 million years ago. The industry that I am talking about is the travel healthcare industry. I have worked travel healthcare for about half of my near-decade career in healthcare. And I want to be very transparent about the pay in the industry, not as a flex, but because I think one of the reasons that we find ourselves with the amount of disparity as far as wealth is concerned in this country is because we don't talk about pay often enough. As a travel tech, I make about $60 an hour after tax. That's what hits my bank for every hour I work. I make about $60 an hour. It's not a huge amount of money. But you know, if I work 4 contracts a year, that's still low 6 figures, which is well above the median of permanent staff in my field. The thing that should piss you off on that isn't that a guy with a bachelor's degree makes 6 figures. It's that I only see half of that. Facilities that bring me on usually pay about $120 an hour for me to be there, from previous conversation with managers about pay and whatnot. They arrange the initial contact for the contract. They bring me on site. They deal with payroll. They deal with my health insurance, which is meager. And then they pocket the rest of it. And
all right, sir, we know. And there's so many stories on what's happening with the medical
So
system
you're
in general. And you can find that rabbit hole easy over here on TikTok with, and there's every week there's videos I'm seeing of people showing their medical bills and how insane these are. Is private equity taking over all of our small businesses? Yeah, we're kind of talking about this earlier.
Me that private equity is coming into small towns just like Highland, Michigan, and buying up certain industries so that we, the people, have absolutely like no chance at ever opening up our own small businesses. Do I have that right? Apparently that's exactly what's happening in Highland, Michigan. My next door neighbor who built my house has become one of the best neighbors that I didn't even know you could dream of neighbors like this, guys. He owns a better exterior out of Highland, and if you go in downtown Highland, you can see like their little business right there, right? Family owned, operated, generational kind of business. And he was telling me that, like, yeah, they are having a heck of a time going up against these large corporations that are coming in that have bought up all of the small town roofing industries that are like right in our neighborhoods. So what other industries is this happening to? I know it happened in the dental industry. That's why when you go to the dentist office now, you're like, what are you trying to sell me? Yeah, and if you're looking for a new roof, hit me up in my DMs. I got the guy for you. So you're telling me...
It's another one, though, and I've shown, even I think over the last few weeks on KJ's What Happened, we saw them talking about veterinary clinics. It's another one where BlackRock, these other big groups, have come in, they've keep buying up all these independently owned vet clinics. And people are showing how insane the prices are becoming now just to take your pet in for like a checkup.
AI that can detect AI generated content so that it can like...
Here's another really crazy one, big rabbit hole. A lot of videos on this. But a lot of people now, younger people, are using AI to trick like their parents and their grandparents.
Put a badge over all of these images to be like, hey, these aren't real, just, you know. Because so many people are so keen to try to use this to make money or create content for them that, like, just imagine in a few years if every single tweet or TikTok is created by ChatGPT or Midjourney. That sounds like a nightmare. Also, AI uses images and videos on the internet to train itself. So if, like, most of the images and videos on the internet become AI generated, and a lot of them look as bad as the ones that we've seen, isn't the AI just gonna get worse and worse? If it thinks that that's what real life looks like, what is its bad replication of that gonna look like? After I watched that one video, I started looking through a bunch of other videos on how to make money using AI, and there's a bunch of other ones that I think people should know about. This dude's video is called I Got AI to Create My Facebook Ads in 10 Minutes. The first few ways that he shows are pretty tame. It's just like using AI to create product photos using an existing product that already exists. The AI is just being used to enhance the photo, like change the background. But this next one is crazy.
We'll drop our product URL in here, type in our target audience, which is females aged 18 to 45, and then we can hit next, and then it generated 2 ad copy examples that we can use.
So he just gave this service the product description that he's trying to advertise. It came up with a script for him, and now it's going to use AI to have this random woman lip sync the AI generated dialogue.
Spa day, meet the mocktail wash, my intimate savior and relaxation partner.
I don't know who this woman is. I assume that she must have, like, licensed her likeness to this service. I hope she did. But even still, I feel like you have to be super careful as an actor if you're gonna be licensing your likeness to a service like this, because you could end up advertising anything, and that's kind of terrifying. Okay, here's another tutorial about a similar method.
Today, I'm gonna show you how to make ads like this or this
completely with AI, and what I'm about to show you is scary.
It's crazy to acknowledge how scary a tool is, but then your first thought is like, well, how can I make money off of this? Top 10 scariest ways to make money. Number 1, fake AI ads. Let me go ahead and show you how to make them.
All right, I'll go and stop there, but this is a big deal too. I believe it's a bit dystopian.
Parents first.
It's messing with people's reality. And it's really easy to do, unfortunately, with this AI stuff. Here's a good example. You can, while they're watching this movie, it says parents first time watching the movie Obsession, and this guy added in an AI clip. I don't know how they do that, but again, that's really screwed up. Now you can watch, it's kind of funny, and the movie I thought was really good. It's called Obsession. It's right up my alley. It's kind of the types of stuff I would kind of write anyway. Like I like that kind of horror and sci-fi, psychological stuff, but Obsession was really, really good, I thought. But that being said, check out this AI clip this guy added to the movie, and it just goes in really smooth. It's like you can't tell.
I'm watching Obsession and I added an AI clip.
Did you fart on purpose? I wonder why they kept that in.
Yeah, I don't know. Parents first time watching Obsession and I added an AI clip.
I wonder why they kept that in.
Anyway, it's kind of funny, but yeah, it's a lot of these videos. This is pranking my Mexican dad with AI. And again, people are using it. It's the same program, trying to say that ICE came for him. There you go. So, but again, lots of these. I'm just trying to show some examples of what people are doing here. It's another one. Pranking my mom. There's a demonic ritual in our backyard. She's African, so probably didn't take this very well. He's bringing out live chicken. See, that's dangerous. That's pretty screwed up, though, you got to admit. I mean, honestly. You know what I mean? Mama was spazzing out. But hard to tell, right? Like, it's hard to tell. I mean, again, it looks so real.
I told Mom I'm lactose.
Here's another one that is, I guess we got to be careful. Some of these are really foul, actually, but there's another whole weird rabbit hole. To me, it feels a bit dystopian, but a lot of people are making these, you can look up AI comedians on TikTok, and you'll find tons of these. But what most people are doing, there's a large amount of these videos, is babies and children, little ones like this, doing the stand-up, and they're really, really foul. Like, some of them get a real foul mouth, so I'm probably going to try to edit some as we go here. But these are apparently the top 5.
Yeah, Mom, I have to eat my vegetables to do that. You sure? 'Cause I know for a fact your ass didn't get ain't no motherfucker.
Number 4.
Mom tucked me into bed and whispered, "Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite." Wait, did you just say there are bugs crawling on my bed biting me while I sleep? Why would you tell me that? Bro, I haven't slept in like 3 fucking days.
Number 3.
I just turned 1. I got drinking problems. I really gotta lay off the boobs, man. Night after night, I keep getting tit-faced.
Hey-o. All right, so we'll stop there. I think you get the idea, but there's a whole slew of those of like, AI comedians. A lot of them are like babies. It's super weird. Most difficult video. We saw this one earlier, didn't we? So there we go. Actually, that, my friends who've made it this far, is the last video at 9 o'clock. Look at that, right at 2 hours. Still floating around 690 people. Hey, thank you all so very much, man. I appreciate it. Even if it was 5 of yous. I appreciate anybody watching, checking out the show, hanging out, most importantly, and love the community here, of course, the family we have. Thank you, Tamara, for everything, and just thank you guys for being here, man. I hope you guys had a good time. I think that was a good selection of videos. People in noticing the dystopia, the world dystopia. Let's put a little background up here. There we go. Jump over here with you guys for a bit. And don't forget, if you didn't know, I mentioned earlier, I just dropped a brand new video earlier today, really just a few hours ago. So I hope you had a chance to check that out. Please do, if you haven't yet. I really appreciate it. What's up, Mostly Harmless, Kava Redeemed, Nephilim Jones, Wiley Jensen, Justin Bundy, Lucia Kitten, X Swagger. Good to see you, man. MB, Discerna, Random Stranger, NWK, Electric Camel. Thanks, CJ Live. Yeah, thanks today for the jewels and the gifts, you guys. I appreciate it. Those are always cool. Sorry if I missed some. I'm not able to keep up with live chat the whole time during live shows. I'm just kind of jumping in and out. But thank you, man. Pleasure to have you here. So yeah, new video just dropped earlier today. Hope you checked it out. Thank you, Tamara, again, for everything, for being here and all you do. Thanks, Justin Bundy. But thanks, Tamara, always, man. Appreciate it. My only moderator for years, and even before that, when there were others, she was here for a long time. So she doesn't have to be here. She's not forced. She's not paid. It's nothing like that at all. That's why, again, just thank you. I appreciate it for reals. All these years. I don't say that a lot. We don't talk a lot behind the scenes. I truly am a very private person, like in real life, and that's no offense. I'm even that way with family, straight up. So, yeah. So every now and then I need to just say that. Thank you so much. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for being here. Let's say a quick prayer here. Heavenly Father, always have to say thank you for the platforms, and we have places like this to meet up. So thanks so much for providing these and protecting them, and thank you for this wonderful family always, for the community we have here, the wonderful people that watch the shows later and live, just amazing people. So thank you so much for each and every one. Thanks that I still get to be here. Thanks that there's an audience. Thanks for all the wonderful things you provide in our lives, which is everything, because all good things come from you. So even thanks for our comforts and all of it, everything we take for granted. Thank you, and we appreciate it. And please, Father, I always pray you help to use us in whichever way you choose to help to be a light in this world while we're here, to lead people to the kingdom, to help the kingdom in any which way we can. So thank you. We love you, Lord. I pray we're all found worthy to escape the things coming upon this earth quickly. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for letting me say a prayer real quick for us all. I appreciate you guys so much. And don't forget, live show tomorrow here on KJ's What Happened. 2 p.m. Central Standard. Check it out. I hope you can. We always have a great crowd there. Had a great crowd tonight. Much appreciated, each and every one, for real, man. It's always a real pleasure. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Okay, thanks to Cerna, Rachel, Nike, ShareBear, Tiny, SC, DO4YQ. Thanks, guys. Hey, but yeah, love you guys in Christ, man. Y'all have a great night. So fun hanging out with you, man. Appreciate you all. Take care. See you tomorrow at the live show, and check out the new video, if you haven't, that I dropped just earlier today. All right? Cool. Thanks. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.